Hello guys, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be showing you how to get complex things very easily and not complicated. How to do complex things not complicated. That's a word choice, definitely. So right here I have my song that I'm going to be using as an example. It's a song that I'm working on. It's not finished, but it's a song that I am going to release by the title up here that you can't see, titled I Am Going to Release This. Yes, so I'm going to play through this and then we'll kind of go over what's happening and how you can put this in your own songs. So let's go. So the first thing I did when I was developing this was I started with the drums because it was drum and bass. So drums are actually a lot more important than I think people like to think. A really good way to make yourself look a lot different than a lot of other people is to mess with drums, especially Foley sounds. So right here I have cool patterns, and then I kind of switch it up. Especially here, it's this is like the main drop right here. You see it goes back and forth. I mean, it is drum and bass, so it is a bit different than something like Riddim or Dubstep, but the same concept is there where it's kind of you're adding different shit and making it sound cooler. But for this one, it's... And the cool thing with this is you can kind of develop the rhythm of how the drop is going to go just with percussive elements, which is something that if you're looking for ideas you can do. Like you can make cymbal risers and down risers, or you can put hi-hats on wherever you want the basses to go to kind of accent them, which could be a really great way to get some inspiration and start a track. But for this, it's more kind of as an accent in a way, just because of the beats. It has very defined breaking points right here, which really helps to make it more impactful, other than if I just fucking did that. It's kind of a little more boring. And it really adds some personality to it. Now that is the first kind of way to make it a little more complicated, is to use a lot of percussive elements, use more Foley and shit like that. But you'll notice that if I just have the bass in here, it doesn't sound that great. It sounds very empty. It's definitely not what we had before, and that is because I think people undervalue the amount of help that the top and melodics can do for your song. Exactly, just here. You heard what it was before. Now it's just fucking shit. It's plain, and it really kind of shows my terrible sound design because I did not spend a lot of time on these because I'm letting the melodics carry it, which is actually a lot of color bass. It's the basses kind of fucking suck, but the melodics are so awesome that it, you doesn't even matter. For half of those, it's literally just a sub bass. No really wubs. It's just sub bass and melodic. Anyway, trying to stay on topic here. We have the bass. So now you have to start about thinking some melodics on top. But how do you do that? There's a couple different ways. You could add doots, like do, to add maybe a little more rhythm on top of your drums, but that is more of an effect than melodics. You can make it melodic by assigning it to a certain pitch that is in the same pitch of your song, but that doesn't always give the best results. You need something a little more impactful. So another thing you can add is a sample. So this right here, so first of all, this is probably going to be a separate video, but samples are great to use. You should not feel bad about using them in your songs unless they are pretty overused. The only worry there is maybe if you have a moral obligation to it, or if it sounds too similar to another song, which is very possible. But there is a way to use sample packs and samples in a way that's additive and completely stylized. So right here is a Must Die loop, like pad loop. Now, I think most people are going to agree. I'm not just taking this and putting it in my song. I'm doing a bit of work. And that is because I'm just trying a different bunch of things. I pressed a bunch of buttons. I pressed the reverse. You know, it goes from fucking... Of course, I have the effects on there. That adds a bit, but here, let me take those off. But if I unreverse it, and I also sped it up a lot, but I also up the pitch. That is the original loop right here. It's a lot faster, and I turned this into this. And I chopped it up a bunch. And that is one example of ways you can turn something that, you know, everybody has access to something that is completely original. It's like flipping a sample in hip-hop. It's kind of the same concept. Actually, it's exactly the same concept. It's cut up like a sample in hip-hop. Anyway, I have that added to it. And just that alone, let me add the effects back, fucking changes everything. You can just see that there's so much personality now. There was some fucking, like, bad basses. They're just plain. But you add this and it's just... Now it sounds like a fucking Leatrix tune. Like, who the fuck cares? I don't know. You add these, which is literally just a pad from the intro that I took. That's another great way to add some complexity, is just sample shit from your intro and stuff and just kind of add them places. Because you might find that your intro has a lot of very cool melodic elements that would fit well. You can manipulate with them. You can fucking bring it all up, which I think I do at one point in this. I'm not entirely sure, but it's following literally the same chord pattern, but it's cut up. So I add that, and it adds a lot more variety and coolness. Another thing is I'm changing the FM of the bass, but that's something that you can just kind of do to add a little more variety. But for shorter loops, it doesn't exactly matter. Now, the other thing I'm doing is I'm fucking with plucks. Plucks are so helpful. They are a way to make something sound super fucking complicated when it's really fucking not at all. Let me explain. It sounds cool. It's literally just a virtual Riot pluck, 2 of them. Having one may not sound enough, and for this I didn't think it was enough. I wanted to be a lot more present and bumpy, so what I have is I have 2 separate ones playing some different octaves, and layering like this just adds a lot more punch. That's another thing, but that's probably a separate video. Layering can just kind of add a lot, which is basically just adding 2 separate sounds to make something bigger, which something I think every single like professional song uses. I cannot think of one that doesn't. But I have it playing this pretty simple melody. I basically just kind of followed the same pattern. And I'm just kind of fucking around. I'm just experimenting. And that's really important, is you have to give yourself the leeway to experiment. Don't put yourself in any boxes. Try and just fucking do things until you get a sound you like. And added to that, I have some reverb, which is some swells. I'm just modulating the reverb. Like, I forget what part I'm modulating, but you can probably figure it out. Which is adding a lot. Like, these 2. And that's literally it. So it's like, I like this shit, like, it's crazy how much the plucks add to this, because you have this, it's like, all right. But you add the plucks and it's like, all the fucking sudden, it's like so much more interesting and so much more wilder. And yeah. So my last thing I want to do here is I want to kind of show this in action. So I'm going to start a new project. And I'm going to find something to use. So I'm going to just go to Virtual Riot. Let's do that. So yeah, that's that. So I'm going to take this and turn it into something completely original. So first I'm going to see what it sounds like reversed. I like that a lot, actually. Does it actually change? So we are, I guess, kind of lucky. Not always that this is just a fucking constant loop. So let's first bring it up some. There, I like that. Sounds like someone crying, like wallowing in pain as I impale them with their... Anyway, let's just start cutting up. Here. We're going to keep this simple. Let's put this in here. Let's also... Let's just get a chunky bass. What the fuck are these sounds? Why do I have nothing good here? Fucking Tiskoski, give me something. Come on. This kind of sounds awful, but like, kind of, I don't know, is something you would rave to, maybe? Maybe I would. Maybe I would rave to it. You never know. Okay. Let's just fucking... You know what, Virtual Riot, are you gonna be my savior? No. This sounds like shit! Where is... There, Riddim. Fuck. Okay, it sounds like shit, but you get my fucking point. This is not a great example, but you get something that is just this, and then you fucking add... It just sounds like a little better than just the basses, and then you can also fucking get a pluck. Let me just make one. Oh, that's too much. Hold on, wait. Oh. Let me just fucking do your mom real quick. Okay. It just sounds like shit, but you should get my point. It's just more complicated, technically speaking. You know, there's a lot of things wrong, like the basses don't fit the mood. I would probably develop something else, and the pluck could use a bit of work, but there is something more than maybe a workflow I used to have 2 years ago, or maybe you currently have that you're trying to get out of, which doesn't let you make complicated shit. But hopefully this helps. If it did, make sure to give a like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, well, thank you. Yeah, goodbye.